Hello and welcome to Sew with Christine. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be sharing with you how to cut and sew this Bubu dress. I'm going to expose you to the tips and tricks that you need for achieving this style. So if this tutorial is what you're interested in watching, I'll urge you to watch this video to the end. I have 3 yards of vintage fabric here with me, and I've gone ahead to fold this fabric into 4 along the yardage area. After folding, I'm going to rule my starting line at the top of this dress, which is ½ inch. So all our measurements will be taken from this starting line. Alright, after folding this into 4, I'm going to take the measurement of this fold, and I have this at 26.5 inches, while the length is 62 inches. Now on the starting line, we are going to take the neckline. So I'm going to mark 4 inches here for the neckline. From the picture, you can see that one side of the neckline is asymmetrical while the other side is a normal neckline, but it's also wide. That is why I'm using 4 inches for this normal neckline. Next, I'm going to mark 7 inches for the half shoulder width measurement. So from that 7 inches, you're just going to mark your sleeve length. So after measuring the half shoulder width measurements, whatever is left is what we will use for the sleeve length. This 1 inch here would serve as the seam allowance for the sleeve and the side of this dress. Next, I'm going to open this side of the fabric down to the hem area. Afterwards, I'm going to open up my fabric and lay one over the other this way. So at the top here, I will extend the starting line to the other end of this dress. Remember, the neckline is an asymmetrical neckline, so that is what we're about to do here. So this is the center of this fabric. From this center, I'm going to mark 7 inches for the shoulder width measurement. Then from that 7 inches, I'm going to mark 4 inches. That is, I want this neckline to drop by 4 inches. Then from the center of this fabric, I'm going to come downward by 2.5 inches for the neck depth. You can iron out the middle part of your fabric to get the center. So I'm going to connect this 4 inches that we marked for the first neck width. Then I will connect to this other end where we drop the neckline by 4 inches after the half shoulder width measurement. So you can see the shape we have here. Now that we are done with this, I'll go ahead and cut out this neck line. Then I'll take off the first one. So the neckline is for the front and back. You have the same thing for the front and back piece, alright? But when you want to cut the half part of the bubu, that will be for the front alone. That is why I've gone ahead to remove one of the piece. So I'll be working with just one now. Alright, I'm going to fold my fabric into 2 now and mark the midline. Like I said, you can iron out the middle to get the middle crease line, or you can fold your fabric into 2 and mark the midpoint like I'm doing. So when you fold your fabric to mark, the neckline cannot be equal because it's asymmetrical. Just ensure that the sides are equal. That's all. Then you can get the middle line. Alright guys, I've gotten the midline of this dress after folding it, and this part that is just the normal neckline is the part that is going to have that cut, the front cut. But this side that will drop down on the shoulder, that's the asymmetrical side, that side would not have any cuts. Hope you understand. So it's from this middle line we are going to take our measurements for us to be able to cut out the area that needs to be cut out. So we are going to be working on this side where we have the normal neckline now. From your starting line, you are going to come downward to your waist length. So the waist length I'm using for this is 17 inches. But I'm going to add ½ inch to that to give 17.5 inches. The ½ inch is for the seam allowance. So by the time we fold that part inward, we'll arrive at 17 inches. After that, the next thing we are going to mark now is the waist measurement. So from your middle line, you are going to take your quarter waist measurement and divide that quarter waist measurement by 2. Mark that here. After marking that, you are going to add 1 inch to that measurement. Now from the middle, take the total measurement, that is what you have, the value you got after dividing plus the 1 inch. Then go ahead and mark that value downward to the hem. Note that you are still measuring from the center of your fabric. Just do this till you get to the hem of the dress. After marking, connect all of them together to form a straight line. So from this part now, just go downward and mark your waist length plus the seam allowance. Do this till you get to the edge of your fabric. Once you are done, go ahead and connect all the lines. So you can see the lines we have here now. The next that we are going to do is to draw a curve. So you're going to use a curve to blend these two lines. So it's on this curve we are going to cut through. Now you see what it looks like, guys. Next, I'll go ahead and cut this out. So once you get to that curve area, cut along the curve line, then go straight down to the hem. So this part that we have just cut out, we are going to use this to make the facing for this dress. So this is what it looks like on this side, and now from the starting line, I want to mark down the sleeve opening. So for this, I'm going to mark 10 inches. I'll come to this side and extend my starting line this way. After extending the starting line, I'm going to come downward by 6 inches. So this will be for this sleeve opening. Alright guys, I've gone ahead to turn this now to the right side. So I'm going to sew the facing onto this neckline. Of course, that is something you can do. So after sewing the facing, this is what it looks like around the neckline. I'm just going to notch on this neckline like so. To make your facing, it's very simple. All you have to do is just to trace your neckline onto a new piece of fabric. So you're just going to use the cut out, the one we just cut out for your facing. Now, if you don't want to make use of facing, you can use a bias tape to bias the neckline. After notching, I'm going to turn this now inward. Then I will place the back over the front this way. Afterwards, I'm going to bring the shoulders up. I'm going to hold the front together. Then I'll use the facing of the back to wrap up the remaining piece of fabric here. Next, I'm going to pin them down in place. I'll come to this side and pick up the shoulders. Then I'll use the back facing to wrap up the others. After that, I'll run my stitches on this area. This is what it looks like after stitching up. You can see how neat this looks. Look at the inside and look at the outside. So using your facing to turn your neckline this way gives it a very neat finishing on the inside as well as the outside. So the width of both sleeves from my observation are not actually the same. So for this side where we have the asymmetrical neckline, we are going to use 6 inches. You drop this by 6 inches. So from this 6 inches, I'm going to sew down to the hemline using 1 inch. Then I'm going to hem the sleeve opening. I'll come to this side where we have the normal neckline, this area where we also cut out this Boubou part. I'll come downward by 11 inches. Initially, I came down by 10, but I want to increase this to 11 inches. Before I sew the side close, I'm going to hem this area that we cut out. You are just going to fold this in and hem that area from this side of the dress down to the hem. Hope you understand. This part where we cut out, you are going to hem this part from the side down to the hem, donating out the edge there. So all you have to do is to make your first fold, then fold it again the second time and sew. So guys, like I explained, I've folded in the sleeve area and I've also sewn the side of this dress. And coming to this other side here where we have the cutouts, you can see I've gone ahead to hem this part inward. So this is what it looks like. Next that we are going to do now is to stitch up the side. So you are going to stitch to this area where the cutout ends. After stitching to that part, you're now going to fold in the back piece. Fold it twice and run your hemming stitch on it from this part through to the hem area. Then after that, you are going to hem the sleeve opening this way. And here we are, I am done stitching up the sleeve opening. You can see what it looks like, and this is the side. See how neat the inside looks. All right, I've also hemmed the back piece to knitting out the edges. This is the back piece. I've hemmed this to the base, and also I've finished up the base. So all you have to do for the base is to fold it in and hem that area as well. So this is the cutout area. You can see this side, and this is pretty much how to make this Bubu dress. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.